Vinicius Boer Monteiro Siqueira. He is a professor from Minas Gerais State University, Brazil. He did PhD in science, and we are having the talks from him on an overview on in Brazilian Atlantic rainforest conservation genetics. I guess we'll have a good talk on conservation genetics. Dr. Marcos, you can start now.
Dr. Marcos is not online.
Then
so you can call the next one. Who is next one?
Okay. Okay, thanks, Dr. Hasrat. Now, Dr. Marcos is not currently online. So I would like to request the next delegates, Miss Mebari Vanessa R. Dorfang. She is assistant professor in Department of Zoology, Assam, Don Bosco University, India. She did MSc in Zoology, and he is delivering the talk on review of the genus Amolops in Northeast India, a bioindicator of mountain streams. Yes.
No, she is also absent.
Oh, she is also absent. Then move to next.
Mariia is there.
Okay, sorry audience, she is also absent currently. And we'll move the next delegates. Dr. Mariia Tomych. She is head of the Laboratory of Ecological Monitoring, Scientific Research Department, National Nature Park, Hutsulshchyna, Ukraine, and she did PhD in botany, and she is delivering on high altitude differentiations of flora of the National Nature Park Hutsulshchyna, Ukrainian Carpathians, and adjacent territory. Yeah, Dr. Mariia, you are welcome.
Hello. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, here's presentation. Share. Now you can see my presentation?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's start. Okay.
Yeah.
So you said the aim of my presentation is high altitude differentiation of flora of the National Nature Park and adjacent territories and its rare component. You can see the territory of Ukraine and in the map the territory of our National Nature Park. It is the Ukrainian Carpathians, Ivano-Frankivs district and Kosiv region. Here is the map. Here is the part of our territory. The aim of our article is conducting the geographical high altitude analysis based on the information about the distribution of each species in the our territory. Mountain territories are usually have high degree of herbal diversity. The distribution of species is changing due to the influence of climate change and anthropogenic load. So mountain and plain flora species spreading is constantly changing. It's related with the climate change and needs to study, especially in the transition areas as our park. Such analysis could not be done for the another parks all the parks of the Ukraine, because they are separated artificially, and floras are not elementary or concert to apply such type of analysis. Because the flora of the National Natural Park, flora's core is the Pokut Carpathians, it makes possible to conduct such analysis. So, for her geographical analysis, the scheme proposed by Meusel and so authors was used. It was adopted in recent edition. For some species, the aerological formulas were prepared independently, according to the information about their habitat by us. As the territory of the National Natural Park on the physical map shows us the distribution of the species by a high allowed things. Is there in the this investigation let us separate floristic areas of Ukrainian Carpathians on the research territory. The lowest place of national park is 300 meters above the sea level, and the highest part of national park is 1472 meters above sea level. As you can see, the differentiation in altitude is more than 1,000 meters. On the territory of national park, there is border between Carpathian and pre-Carpathian territory, from the northern east to the southern west. So there should be mostly species groups of foothill zone and mountain forest zone of the territory we research. Here you can see the interesting plants. Subalpine zone is absent in our park, but plant species characteristic for subalpine zone growth there. You can see Atrogen alpina, Pinus mugo, Phyteuma wagneri, and two species of Gentianus, which lies here. And now you can see the distribution of higher vascular plants of National Natural Park according to the altitude types of habitats. There is two fractions of flora. It's aboriginal native flora and its adventitive species. In the first fraction, mountain plain species absolutely prevail. It is more than 73% of the aboriginal plants. And the another plant group is high too. It's 14% of the species. And the other groups, it's not so big, it's less than 4% of the species. It's Subalpine-mountain group, alpine-plain group, Subalpine-plain group, mountain-plain, and alpine-mountain group. The distribution of adventitive species is quite different. We can see that a group of plain species absolutely dominate. Mountain plain species, it's about 38%, and the one representative of subalpine plain species is Ecological vulgaris. About the groups of aboriginal species. The main group includes species with the middle high altitude distribution in terms of their habitats. They make the basis of vegetation of our territory. It's forest, meadow species, and hygrophytes and hydrophytes. You can see here Quercus robur, anemona nemorosa, Paris quadrifolia, Gallium odoratum, Galeopdolon luteum, Aetherium felix femina. It is the main species in our territory. The next species is representatives of meadows. It is not the territory of the park, but it's it's our neighbors, and the floras of this phytocynosis we must research too. Here is Meadow species. It's Trollius europaeus, it's Rhinanthus minor, Taraxacum officinale, Carlina acaulis. Here is the species connecting with the water. It is hygrophytes, Parnassia palustris, Coronaria floscooki, and the hydrophyte. It is one species here. It is Ranunculus Batrachium trichophilum. Here in this group, many synanthropic species, hygrophytes and hydrophytes. You can see here Calistagia sepium and Cicorium intybus. It is synanthropic species. Hygrophytes, Sthenoplectus lacustris, Sparganium erectum, and hydrophyte Potamogetum crispus. There are also some narrow habitat species connected with the thermophilic phytocynosis of the European part of the continent. It is Roripa sylvestris. It is Bromus commutatus, Arctium minus, and Euphrasia stricta. Now the following groups, less in numbers, contain species with a wide range of altitude zoning, more than 2 high altitude vegetation zones. It is Subalpine-plain species. It's Aquilegia vulgaris from the left, Vaccinium viticidea, Lotus corniculatus, Tronstein globosa. It's rare species. It's orchid. And Eriforum polystachyon 2. In this group, there are not so many species. Here is a Subalpine-mountain and alpine-plain species. It is Pinus mugo, Phytauma tetramerum, Adenostilla ciliaria, and other. Alpine-plain group. The representative is Huperzia ciliago, as you can see, and Crocus hefelianus, Gymnodenia conopsea, Pseudorchis albida. And the last group is alpine-mountain species. It's Gentiana acaulis, Phytauma wagneri, and Hypocheris uniflora. These groups include Pleistocene relics and borderline species which form isolated population on our territory. They also present alpine Carpathian mountains flora of the research territory. In general, groups that have wide range of altitude and vegetation belts include 88 species. It's more than 10% of natural flora of the region. They belong to the groups which with a wide amplitude of heights and plant debris. A separate group, it is mountain species. And next, the distribution of rare components of higher vascular plants of the national network park according the altitude types of vegetation. Here is we can see that in the rare component, mountain plain species prevail too, but the plain species is absolutely absent in this spectrum. It indicates the pronounced connection of the rare flora elements with the mountain territories. Plant cover of the mountain territories needs primary study and protection, as we can see. And the other groups, Subalpine-plain, Subalpine-mountain, Alpine-plain, and mountain group, is more than in the flora at all, and there is many representatives of Red Book of Ukraine and many plants from the family orchids here in these groups. And here is conclusion of our research. In the altitude distribution of the native fraction of the flora, dominates the mountain plain group, with the largest part consisting of plain species and small part of broad amplitude and mountain species. The spectrum of high altitude distribution of advantaged fraction is quite different, and plain species absolutely dominate here. Second, mountain plain species. The geographical altitude structure of flora's rare components and flora at all is the different. The number of mountain species also prevail here, and place species, as we saw, absent in the flora's rare components. And the rare flora components tend to mountains territory, and much smaller number represents in mountain plains component. And thank you for your attention.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Mariia. You have presented very good informative about the distributions of species with different altitude, and you focus as well on the rare component. That's everybody should give the attentions to rare species. I think it was very interesting, and hope all the audience enjoy your presentations. Thank you once again, Dr. Mariia.
Thank you.